2 years and 1 day. Adventures in Marriage had a really cool impact, on us. It helps us both to be able to communicate to each other, and for me to understand her needs and her understand my needs. And we've never really been really bad at conflict resolution, but our conflict resolution has gotten a lot better. Like fights are shorter, and things just all around are a lot better.
We've learned to understand each other better with like the heart-to-heart, and just like understanding like deeper reasons and just like personality differences and how to like work around that and like just collaborate in like a more effective way.
Yeah, I think specifically the workshop was helpful for me because I've never been someone that's good asking for help or communicating my needs or talking about myself. It's like I don't know, it's not like I'm like the super humble person or anything. I really struggle with communicating what I need to other people, which is pretty hard to meet someone's needs if you don't know their own needs. So one of the things that the class has really helped me with is be able to communicate what I need to Alex and help her understand like how she can be the best wife for me.
I feel like it gave us the tools that we needed. Like, I feel like growing up, my parents had like a great marriage, but I didn't know how they got there. And so I kind of had this expectation that like, oh, marriage is gonna be like really easy. And then I'm like, oh shoot, we have conflict.
It's not.
This isn't that easy. And so giving the tools to just like be able to use like all the list of like emotions that like, and then like digging deeper, like how are they actually feeling? Like, I'm not very good at that. Like heart-to-hearts aren't really my thing. Like I'm good at like really direct conflict. I'm like, okay, let's get to this conflict. But like,
and you're really good at like meeting needs because that's an action-based.
Yes, anything action-based I'm really good at. But like anything like talking, I think Ted said at one session, he's like, well, it's kind of like we're going in a circle and the plane just needs to like land. And I'm like, well, why are we circling? So like, that's like me. I'm like, okay. So having the resources and like understanding that was really helpful for me.
Yeah. I think too, having our coach and the sessions that we had, meeting with him every week, it helped us not just necessarily be able to help each other, but to understand like what we needed. Like it helped me to understand like my own issues and like what I've brought to our marriage and like things that I need to change and things I need to keep aware of. So like whenever we're having an argument or whatever, I'm upset with her, it's like I now feel more equipped and understand like why do I feel it. Like at one point he's talking about like the Caress needs assessment, like your core needs you have as a person. And I recognize that some of my needs are attention. That was a big one for me, and respect. So sometimes I'll get upset with her, and the core reason is because I don't feel respected or I don't feel like I'm getting enough attention. And now I know how to tell her that, and she knows how to recognize that a lot better. Our marriage before Adventures in Marriage versus how it is now is a night and day difference. I mean, it's an 8-week class, so like 9 weeks ago, like stuff was rough, and we were in church and we were going to ask for marriage counseling, and we went up to the pastor and asked him about marriage counseling, and that was whenever he told us about the Adventures in Marriage class. So then we signed up for it, and it's been just transformational. So much better.
I would tell someone thinking about taking Adventures in Marriage, do it, because it has been revolutionary to our marriage, and I think it can help any marriage, whether you're struggling or not struggling. It's gonna teach you skills that you didn't even know you needed to know.
Yeah. Something our coach told us that I've now told a lot of my friends is Adventures in Marriage, I believe, is designed for people who are at a 1 and want to be a 10, and for the people who think they're at a 10 and they don't realize what a 10 actually is. And I think that, sums it up really well. So what I would say is anybody, male or female, if you're the husband, if you're the wife, if you've ever felt like your spouse doesn't understand you or they don't listen to you, or you felt like, and especially for me, if you felt like you haven't been able to communicate how you feel and what's inside your head and what's inside your heart to your spouse, Adventures in Marriage gives you the tools to be able to do that. My favorite skill we've learned so far is definitely the heart-to-heart. As soon as, and it's funny, you being more of a beaver, lion beaver, me being the otter, when they first introduced it, my thought was like, man, this heart-to-heart skill, this is fantastic. This, the heart-to-heart allows me to communicate everything to her or communicate everything to me, and I get to listen and be understood, and it's all words and talking, which is like, that's my strong suit as an otter. And I feel like, Alex, it was really helpful for you to be able to understand me a lot better. Like, because of the heart-to-heart skill, I feel better understood by her. Like, there's a little assessment that you take like before and after the class. I don't remember what I put for being felt and understood before, but it was a lot higher now than it was 8 weeks ago. So, I mean, being understood is so vital, and I feel better understood.
I think that one was really helpful, but I'd have to say my favorite is the daily temperature reading. I will say I don't always want to do it because we do it at night and I'm kind of tired, but I love just like, okay, let's appreciate each other. Let's say we're sorry. Let's talk about our new information. That's my favorite. Logistics. And then like praying, and I'm a big dreamer, so I love like talking about like dreams. So I would say my favorite is the daily temperature reading.
And inside of the daily temperature reading, like my favorite piece of it is the complaints with requests for change piece, because I'm a words guy and I'm a little bit of a softie, and she's a lion, and she's strong, and she's action focused and gets stuff done. So a lot of times there can be some conflict because I will be offended at something when I really shouldn't be offended, and I will take something the wrong way. So having the structure of, instead of blank, I would prefer blank, as a complaint, it's like, now I'm ready for them, and now it's a collaborative thing for us to accomplish a goal, instead of me feeling like I'm getting attacked all the time. Even though that's not what she's doing, that's how I take it a lot of times. We love our marriage thanks to Adventures in Marriage.